what it was. Y'all know who it is. And y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And hey, man, before I get started, I'm once again going to remind y'all of the sale I got going on right now because I'm in a tight spot. I had a financial emergency come up that knocked me off my feet. And if I don't make some money, I'm not going to be able to keep doing what we're doing right here. Okay? So right now, I got $50 audio natal chart interpretations going on, man. And you can't beat that, okay? Because what that's going to consist of is me giving you an audio recording of an hour and a half of 2 hours of me breaking down your chart. And what's that going to be? That's going to be me talking about all the major planetary placements that are involved in traditional astrology. It's going to be me talking about the declinations, the growth aspects. We're going to talk about the elements, the modalities. We're going to talk about your ascendant, your midheaven, any conjunctions we see going on. We're going to talk about the close aspects that we see going on. We'll discuss your karmic direction, which consists of your north and your south node, or Rahu and Ketu. Hey, we're going to go in, man. And even besides that, I'm also going to throw in a 30 to 40 page typed up PDF that's going to do the same thing for you, because some people like to see tangibility. All right. Some people, it's not all about the idea. So, hey, if y'all fool with me on any level, if you haven't got your chart interpreted by me already, you're missing out, because I am the truth. Okay. So y'all fuck with me. And if y'all don't want to do that, hey man, donate to the channel. The link is in the description, man. For real, man. And I don't want y'all to hit me up in the comments, man. If you're interested in any readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com, which is actually my preference. Okay. And besides the audio natal chart interpretations for $50, I'll also do numerology interpretations, which that's not going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours. That'll consist about close to an hour, and it's not going to have the 30 or 40 pages because it just doesn't take that much, and that's too much math. Okay. I'm not going to put how I calculated everything up. Okay. What I'm going to do is tell you about your numbers and the energy that comes along with it, because I'm on point and adept at that too. Okay. And I'll do that for $40 a piece. And if you want synastry going on, I'll do synastry charts for $60 a piece, which these are significant discounts to what I'm usually charging y'all. And also, hey, if you think that's a lot, you better go check with other people when you're fooling with a professional, man. And like I said, I'm on point, and that's a hell of a deal. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. Y'all fool with me, okay? And I'm telling y'all that, I'm pleading to y'all because, yeah, I'm in a tight spot, man. I'm hurting right now, and I need that love. And I feel like y'all are my family. And if y'all aren't my family, I at least feel like y'all are my network, my peoples, my friends. And that's important what we're thinking about here today. That's because this right here, this a little something about those people that have Mercury in the 11th house of their natal chart. And before we even go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mercury. I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. And then we'll talk a little bit about what the 11th house of the astrological chart is all about. And then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination, which fortunately for you, I'm one of the coldest closers in the game, which you'll see. You will see. So without wasting any more time, let's get it cracking. So Mercury, this is named after the winged messenger of the gods. And just like him, he comes into our chart and commands us to speak. And that's because it rules over communication, intellect, intelligence, logic, reasoning, as well as how we create and express our thought processes. And when something's referred to as having a mercurial nature, the first thing that comes to mind for me is restlessness and motion. That's because things happen fast with Mercury. And that also makes it all about quick wit, quick thinking, possibilities, opinions, as well as our ability to rationalize shit. And it can be both good and bad, but either way it goes, it's going to be energizing. Okay. And this planet right here prompts us to move on from thing to thing and get answers on both the physical and a psychological level. And hey, it's dexterous, it's perceptive energy that also rules over speaking, writings, books, communications, short trips, our siblings, transportation in general, learning. All that comes under Mercury's domain. And also understand that Mercury is never more than 28 degrees away from the sun. It only takes about 88 days to go through its whole entire orbit. And it rules the signs of Gemini and Virgo, as well as the 3rd and the 6th house of the astrological chart. And it's neither feminine nor masculine. It kind of assumes a gender or whatever sign that it's in. and we're referring to Mercury's sign, this is going to speak to our basic attitude, our mental habits, and our communication style. Now, when we're talking about the house placement, which is where we're at right now, this shows the area of life that plays out in the most. Okay. So, this is your most comfortable operating realm from a mental standpoint. Okay. So when we're talking about the 11th house, okay, this is ruled by the sign of Aquarius and the planets of Uranus and Saturn to a lesser degree. And, it's here that we kind of find our goals and our objectives and our wishes and our hopes. Okay. And, there's also where we can see any friendships or any memberships to any groups or associations that we might be a part of. And the work in society representing the 10th is released through the unique individual doing the activities and exceeding the energies that are represented in the 11th house, man. And whatever planets right here that show up in the 11th, they speak to any gains that we might have. So like I said, to any group associations we might have. And when I'm speaking of gains, understand that the second house, that's the money we have. That's what we're keeping. Okay. The 11th house, it directly speaks to the money that we're making from the 10th house. Okay. So from our career, if we have one. So that's something to think about. And like I said, it's our friends. And, this is what they would call a succeeding house because it comes after a cardinal house. All right. And, when we're taking Mercury and we're putting Mercury in the 11th house, the first thing to understand about this one right here is that Mercury's actually in this accidental exaltation here, with this being ruled by the sign of Aquarius. So it's going to be a lot more intense than it would be in most situations. Plus, you also got to take into consideration the fact that the 11th house is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is actually known as the higher octave of Mercury in astrology. Okay. So not only does this point to some genius ability, it also could point to the ability to get along with just about anybody. And it also points to being an extremely original mind. Okay. And, this is somebody that could really easily adapt to different people's communication style, which, both right there are great strengths that come along with this placement. I mean, great strengths. Okay. And, with Mercury in the natural house of the sign of Aquarius, man, what you get is an out of the box thinker. Okay. Who really excels with, coming up with bizarre and ingenious ideas that nobody else could have ever considered. Okay. And that's just real. No bullshit. This is a mind that moves at light speed, at light speed. And the way that their brain makes connections, hey, this is truly a thing to behold for real. Plus, this is a networking mind. Think about it like a internet. Like that's how their mind moves. It makes connections like, wow, everywhere, man. Plus, I've also seen that, these motherfuckers right here, they usually end up with a humongous network of friends too, because, they don't give a damn. They will, strike up a conversation with anybody as long as, there's something to gain from that conversation. Cause remember this, it's about gains. And, I can say that the sign and the aspects could definitely influence it otherwise, but I really also say that the majority of these folks right here are a lot more extroverted. Okay. That's something to think about. And, they're going to be a lot more on the talkative side than anything else. But let me also put an emphasis on the word gain there. If there's something to gain from the conversation that they have, because they're not about just sitting up talking about nothing. No, they want to make a difference. Yeah. And speaking of gains, we can't forget that, the 11th house supports the 10th house. So all planets placed here, they also have a tremendous influence on our professional life and our public image as well. So having Mercury right here, it can really help these folks stand out in their career and really have some awesome gains from that too, man. Real talk, man. That's just if they utilize their mind, though. So do that. And another thing I know is that these folks, they think about humanitarian ideas and changing the world all the time, which is beautiful. And due to that, a lot of them are actually really interested in how society works too, which is cool. But even if it ain't all that, let me say that, even if it ain't on that grand of a scale, this still says that these Mercury and the 11th house people, they want to understand the dynamics present within whatever group they're involved in. So they spend a good deal of time kind of pondering on what makes us belong to certain groups and the sociology of it all. You feel me? For real, man. Plus, I'll say this. If Pluto's making any strong aspects with Mercury here, hey, they'll probably be deeply interested in psychology too. So I definitely check that out and see what's up if possible. And beyond that, I can also say that I've observed that being involved in any kind of social activity, this really makes these people feel useful. So volunteering and helping out with people in need is also going to be a big thing with this placement. Like, that's just something that goes along with it. And when it comes to their little circle of friends, you know, these folks right here, they're going to definitely be a catalyst. Most definitely, you know, because they're all about coming up with ideas that'll help the group. And in return, you know, the group supports them too. Okay. Which, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, especially when you have a bunch of ingenious motherfuckers that get together and try to change the world. I mean, think about it. And look, man, most 11th house placement, they point to friends making people's lives a lot more enjoyable, okay? Because it shows the type of people that they prefer to associate themselves with. And so, you know, when we're talking about the case of Mercury, this, of course, says that these folks want to be associated with other smart and brilliant and open-minded people like themselves. And their friendships, they're going to be much more intellectually based than emotionally. Okay. And that's just what it is. And on that same note, understand that these are much more rational than emotional thinkers as well. So, you know, don't get it twisted, man. They're curious and open-minded, but their feelings aren't typically involved. I mean, that's just kind of how it is, unless this is a water sign, because that's going to change the whole dynamic here. And lastly, you know, if you have this placement and you happen to have stepchildren, okay, this could suggest that they might have strong Gemini or Virgo energy, or it could just point to having a mercurial relationship with that. But that's a little hint for a stint or a little news you can use, okay? So I just hit you with some clues. But even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, it don't mean you have to build like that. And what I mean is we all have all this energy available to us. What you do is what you would do. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Hey, if you made it this far, you should be hitting that like button, man. Because I know I went hard. It's none better. And speaking of which, if y'all fool with me on any level, man, hit the like button. Hit the dislike button if you're a hater. But I understand that too. Hey, remember, I got the sale going on. $50 audio natal chart interpretations right now. That's going to include an hour and a half to 2 hours of me breaking down your chart, as well as a 30 to 40 page PDF. I'm going to do a synastry readings, which that's not going to have PDF with it. That's just going to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours of me breaking down the energies between you and whoever you want the synastry chart reading with. Or I could do numerology for $40. That's not going to have a PDF either, but it's going to be about an hour long of me just giving it to you with the numbers. So, hey, y'all fuck with me, man. I need that help, man. Or you see the way to donate to the channel in the link in the description, man. If y'all want me to keep being able to do what I'm doing, man, I need some love. Appreciate it.